You've never seen a YouTube video like this one before. This is a true real-time stock market update, and we gonna do it in under 6 minutes with over 200,000 data points, and here is how we gonna do it. I am going to share my screen so you can see exactly what I am looking at and talking about. And then every few seconds, I am going to show you some of these data points that back up the narrative. And if you like this style of investing and learning about the stock market, hit the like button because I think you'll really enjoy this video. Alright, let's start with Tesla. So Tesla is actually down today, but we got a nice bounce right here after the earnings report. You can see that there was a big jump in shorts coming back in, but they still at relatively low levels. Now, interestingly, we have almost 3 million shares that are about to be freed up because they were part of the lockup that just expired for the insiders and early investors. So that's good news. It means that those shares can now be sold into the open market, which is good for the overall liquidity position of the stock. Now, what's really interesting about Tesla is even though the stock is down today, it's still in an uptrend. If we go down here to the trend analysis, you can see that it's making higher highs and higher lows. The only difference is that the last low is not lower than the previous low. That's why it's forming this sort of triangle shape. Now, I personally am not a fan of this triangle consolidation. I'd much rather see it break out to the upside, but at least it is still holding up and it has not broken down yet. So that's positive. The next thing that I want to talk about is Tesla's implied volatility. So the implied volatility is really high right now, and this is mostly due to the upcoming split. The split is going to happen on August. Now, interestingly, we're starting to see some big money funds buying options on Tesla. These are funds that don't normally trade options. So this could be an indication that they're starting to buy the rumor. Remember that when the split actually happens, it will be reflected in the stock price on August. However, usually it starts to be priced in well before that date. So there is a good chance that the stock could go up in the next few days leading up to the split announcement. Next up, we have Nvidia. So Nvidia is very much in a downtrend right now. You can see that the last 2 weeks, it's been nothing but bad news. However, there is an interesting development here. We have big money funds entering shorts on Nvidia. So this is the first sign of capitulation that we're starting to see. When big money funds enter shorts, this is typically the bottom. So it could be that we're close to a bottom here. However, we need to wait and see if this is actually going to play out or not. If we go down here to the sentiment, you can see that almost 90% of the analysts have a buy rating on Nvidia. This is the highest level of buy ratings since December of last year. What this tells me is that the stock could be oversold right now because a lot of this positive news is already being priced in. For example, Nvidia announced their new RTX 40 series cards, and also they getting a boost from the AI narrative. The next stock that I want to talk about is AMD. So AMD is very much in a downtrend right now, but there's an interesting development here. We have the big money funds closing out their shorts. They're no longer interested in shorting this stock. In fact, we have almost 18 million shares worth of shorts that were closed out in the last 2 days. Now, this could be an indication that maybe they were wrong about AMD. Maybe they thought that the stock would keep going down, but it looks like they might have been wrong. And if we look at the price action, you can see that the stock is starting to reverse. It's now making higher highs and higher lows, so it's in a clear uptrend. The only question is whether or not this is going to continue. Now, I personally am bullish on AMD. I think that they're going to continue to go up because they're about to announce their new Ryzen 8000 series of CPUs, and they're also getting a boost from the AI narrative. Next up, we have Salesforce. So Salesforce is in a clear downtrend right now. It's making lower highs and lower lows. The last time we had a similar move was back in January of last year when the stock collapsed. However, there is an interesting development here. we have big money funds entering shorts on Salesforce. So this could be an indication that they're starting to get bearish on the stock. However, we need to wait and see if this is actually going to play out or not. And speaking of shorts, we have almost 1 billion shares that are currently on loan. This represents over 10% of the float. So there's definitely a lot of interest in shorting Salesforce right now. The stock is currently trading at around $215 per share, which is a level that hasn't been seen since March of last year. Alright, that's all I got. Like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more.